Feels like that?
Refresh your aura.
Hi folks, welcome to Let's Just Go, Kevin and Casey's Modern Missionary Podcast, where we discuss life and ideas that we ran into while living together, raising 9, and running a mission for decades. This are Hannah. Hi.
You guys introduce yourselves.
Rachel.
Hi.
Elijah.
Hello.
Malia.
Hi.
Micah.
Hi.
Delilah.
Hello.
4 of them living in the house now, because 5 of our kids are gone, but 2 are home this summer. Hannah's from NAU, Northern Arizona University,
Yep.
but she's here. She's going to do online semester with us, and Rachel's from Wheaton College, and she's going to be here for just a couple more days, going back. What are we doing tonight, Case?
Tonight we have gathered the kids around and we're going to talk story about our dog Koko.
Mm-hmm.
Because we lost her last weekend and we thought that this would be a good chance to tell some stories and get the kids' perspective about having her as part of our family.
Mm-hmm. Who remembers first getting Koko? Go for it.
I do.
Just roll right into it. Start telling stories.
I remember it was this apartment place, was it? Yeah, I don't remember much, but I remember all these baby GSPs running around, and I remember we chose one,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
but yeah.
In Honolulu?
Yep,
Yeah,
we went
Honolulu.
into downtown Honolulu. Yep.
I remember the first day we got her, and we were all sitting around on our floor in our living room, and you were trying to tell us really seriously all the rules you were going to have, how to take care of her and
Oh.
everything, and she was running around, licking us and jumping on us and everything, and we were all trying to be serious, but also just, she had
There
all
was
her
a
energy.
puppy.
Yep.
We had a crate trainer, huh?
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, that was a lesson, is that we actually got her and we didn't have a crate. We basically just had a dog bowl and a collar that was like pink, and we quickly learned that that dog needed containment
Mm-hmm.
and discipline.
It seemed wrong.
Yes. Yeah, but that made all the difference in the world.
It took us a while to find a name for her, didn't it?
Does anybody remember her original name? That
It was Valentine, right?
Valentine, because she had kind of a heart-shaped brown spot on her neck, I think.
Yeah.
I think she grew out of that.
Yeah. We named her Koko.
Mhm. Which is Koko.
Yeah, which means
Flooded.
flooded.
in Hawaiian.
Did we know that when we named her that?
Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
We named her after the mountain.
after the mountain.
Yeah.
For some reason, I
Great.
remember Mom and David talking about it in a McDonald's drive-through, naming her Koko.
Oh,
Interesting.
you in the details.
I know, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was a mountain every single one of us have climbed, right?
No,
Yes.
Koko did?
No,
Yep.
I never did.
You never did.
You never
Okay.
did.
All right.
It was kind of scary,
Yeah.
but fun.
I think my first memory of Coco, because I didn't go with you guys to pick her up or anything, and I don't even remember where I was, but my first memory of Coco was we were kind of like, I may have been at school, because I think it was a school day and I came back and we were all kind of sitting around and Mom was like there with the puppy and she goes, "This is a puppy." And we're like, "This is a puppy." And she was like running around and like being super playful, and like it was kind of similar to Hannah's. Mom was like talking us through the rules and like how we should talk to Coco and everything, and we were like, "Okay, but this cute little dog is here."
Do you remember, Delilah?
You weren't even born.
You weren't even born.
No.
Coco was older than you.
I was just born, right, a couple of weeks old,
No, a year.
a year old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm sure Hannah remembers this. I don't know if Rachel will, but you were born and there was this discussion of a puppy, and you had just been born, and I told everyone, I said, we are not going to talk about getting a dog until Micah is a year old.
Hmm.
And on your year birthday, the older kids called me up, and I walk into the living room,
Really?
and everyone is sitting down in the furniture looking
I
at
don't
me, and I'm
remember this.
like, oh, what's going on? Do you remember this?
I do remember this.
And they're like, okay, it's time to talk about getting a puppy. And I was like,
Yep.
whoa, dang. They
Whoa, dang.
remembered. They remembered.
Micah, you were it.
Which after that conversation too, I think it was Malia who was just always
When are we getting a
talking
Oh,
to you,
puppy?
asking
relentless Malia.
Daddy,
Dad?
can we get a puppy?
Yeah, I remember that.
When are we gonna get a puppy?
Oh my
When are we getting
gosh.
our puppy? When are we getting the puppy?
The tree house,
Yeah,
the van,
van.
all the things.
Yeah.
Well, I was excited about Koko because she was a German short hair pointer, and they're very athletic and playful. We had the kids, we had the yard, but they're also really smart, and so I knew that we could train her. We did a lot to train her, and she was very well trained.
Yeah.
We didn't want a dog that was crazy and gonna bite people and be around the chaos of our house and be also chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she pooped in one corner of the house, in
That's
the
right.
yard.
Mhm.
Sorry, she pooped in the yard, in a corner or the end of the yard,
Mhm.
and she would get right up to the gate, but she would never cross it.
Right.
And
When we were home.
yeah,
Right.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
I remember finding her in other people's yards when we got back from places.
what?
But she
At
knew.
first, yeah.
Yeah.
She
knew
did.
she was in
She'd
trouble.
tell on herself.
She always knew
Yes.
the sound of our vehicle too. She'd be like,
Whenever we went to church and she had been on the furniture or anything,
She
she would always
Tell
she
on
would
herself.
always tell on herself. She would crouch
Oh.
really low and be
Mhm.
like, she'd start crying.
I
Yeah.
remember coming home to her ripping up that red couch we used to have.
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I remember
Oh yeah.
when we had the dog treats for her. I would feed her them, but before what I would do is I would hide them and then I would tell her to go get it and she'll find it right
Mhm.
away.
That's a good thing, is to think about all the things she could do,
Yeah.
all the things she was trained to do, all the things she could do.
Like catch
I-
birds.
Yeah.
Going back to
Yes.
her athleticism, you would go outside and she's crouched, kind of starting to get a bird, catch
The
a
beautiful
bird.
pointing
Yep, and
action.
she'd point
that
at it, and
creeping
then
action.
she'd crouch towards it, and it would fly in midair. She would catch it and just
Mhm.
bring it down with her, and it was
Yeah.
always so majestic.
She was she sometimes wouldn't eat her dog food so that the birds can go and dab at it, and then or eat it or something, and then she would wait till they're distracted by the food, and then she'll go up and jump at them and grab
That's
them.
right. She kind of used
She
her,
baited
her
them.
she baited the birds, and she killed a lot of birds.
Yep.
I remember seeing the difference in how all the birds behaved. You know, which ones sat in the wire way up high, which ones, watched the trees and swooped down, which ones went straight to the ground. And you can see the difference because you knew which ones Koko was going to kill.
Yeah.
And those dumb doves.
Yep. She
Big-
liked the doves.
Big old giant fat doves in the middle of the yard, and she knew she could kind of take her time. She was fast, but she'd start bounding towards them, and those doves would be flopping and flying low
You're
towards
like,
the
"Uh."
fence. They're like, I think I can get to the fence. And Koko would jump in the air and kill her.
I remember sometimes at the beach, she would chase after the waves, but then when the waves came in, she ran away from
She
them.
was scared of the water, yeah.
Yeah.
So she had the web feet. Yeah.
There was this game we played with her, on our treehouse,
Mhm.
and it
Oh,
would be, we called it Temple Run because the video game Temple Run where you start and these monsters are chasing you through a maze and everything. And what we do is we would all get on the treehouse, and then we'd all take turns jumping off and running around the house. And she got riled up so easily that you just kind of like, Koko, come here, and just start running. She would chase you. She would run around the house laps and laps, and we had different like ways of getting out. If she passed you, then she got out, or you got out. If she passed you the opposite way that you were going, things like that. There were different rules, different pointed, but she'd chase
So we had
us
that
and-
treehouse. It was this big giant deck, just overhead height, right? And then we had a big slide that went down, and sometimes we would throw Koko up top. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we put her up on the deck, and she would immediately want to get off, so she'd go down
The
the
slide.
slide.
The first time
And
I
she'd
think
That
she
slide?
jumped off.
Oh,
Oh,
I think she
yeah.
did
There
jump.
was one time I remember
Oh, I do
she
remember
jumped
that.
from the treehouse onto the ground.
I remember hearing stories about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we just kept on putting her up there, and then she would go down the slide, put her up there, go down the slide.
Do you think
Bit-
she thought that was fun?
No.
You guys don't think so?
No.
No, okay. I think she was having
She
fun.
did not enjoy
You
that.
thought she was having fun.
I remember she didn't like small dogs, particularly the Chihuahua
next door.
that lived right next to us. Her and Koko was like a big dog. So she would bark at this Chihuahua that lived next door, and they would run up and down the fence,
Oh,
like
right.
facing each other off, and they would just be barking.
Mhm.
It was hilarious. She hated small dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we moved here, it would be funny because sometimes when we would press the garage door to open, and she would run out. She would like chase the car and bark at us.
She was a barker,
Yes, she was a
a
barker.
great dog
Yeah.
as a watchdog.
She always.
She had a scary bark.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She had a very intimidating bark.
And she would.
She wouldn't bite you.
I don't think she ever, one time, ever bit anybody.
We trained
Yeah,
her really
12
well with
years.
that too, because I
Right.
remember you would kind of
I put my hand in
in
her
her
mouth.
mouth, and she
Mhm.
just loved you specifically so much that she wouldn't ever want to hurt you,
Right.
and so it kind of trained her not
I would
to
just
bite.
say, don't bite, don't bite, don't bite. So she figured out what that meant, and well, she never did in the first place, but she was figuring that out.
Mhm.
And but we had a yard where all these people would pass by, and one of you said it before that the gate was open, and they would see this big dog, or scary. She made herself
Scary
look big.
barking dog. Yeah.
Yeah, running towards them, and they're like, "I'm dead," because the gate was wide open, and then she would stop right at the gate, and she would never cross. And remember how many times people were like, "That's a good dog."
Yep. And we didn't have an electrical fence or anything. She just would stop. Oh,
Why?
she sometimes
Well,
would.
she
cross the line, but-
yeah, but she didn't have a collar or anything. But if she did go outside the gate, she knew exactly where our house was.
If you were walking the dog on the street though, and you accidentally let go of that leash, she will run.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she was she was
Yeah.
used to being in a yard, but
Yeah.
she was a horrible walker.
Right.
I remember-
we didn't do a
Well,
good
she would
job
come
training
back.
her on that.
Well, I remember trying to train her.
Uh-huh.
There was a certain time where we
To walk,
tried to
yeah.
train her, and we'd say heel, heel,
Uh-huh.
and the point was for her to come back right next to you, and she did it for
She'd
like,
choke herself to death.
yeah, because we had that choker chain
Yeah.
for a collar. But for some time, I remember her listening,
Mhm.
and then we stopped walking her enough, and so once we got her back onto walks, she was just there.
Yeah.
She tried to drag you everywhere.
Well, she was so excited. She always wanted
Yeah.
to go, and she would always she would come back to me all the time. But if I was walking with her, it was like, come back, come back, come back, come back, and it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, you're wearing yourself out.
I feel like she was so good at the crate training that she had her crate, she had her blanket, and she had our
Mhm.
yard. Our yard was her big crate. But outside of that, she could hardly contain herself. Like, she knew what to do within it, but
Mhm.
outside of it, she could hardly contain herself, her excitement, her wanting to explore, and she just would drag you everywhere.
Do you remember trying to move from Hawaii?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
In the airport?
In the airplane.
Yeah, in
Oh
the
my gosh,
airplane,
you could hear her in the airplane.
Yeah, you could hear her.
The whole
like,
flight.
We all like
there's
kind of
this
looked at
bark,
each other.
Barking.
And you're like, is that our
And
dog?
everybody on the plane, they were like, do you hear that dog barking? Do you hear that dog barking? I mean, I've flown on 100 planes and I've never heard a dog. And there's always been dogs on there. It was the only time in my entire life I've heard a dog barking, and everyone else also.
We all like kind of looked at each other and we're like, yep.
That was a
That's
6
ours.
hour flight too.
She
And
barked the whole
The
time,
whole time.
and in the airport.
I remember,
Oh,
You
yeah.
could hear her all the way
like,
at the
she
other
loves
end of the
people,
airport.
so she will run after them and, like, smell them
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. But in the airport where there are a whole bunch of people, what she'll do is, like, she'll go to this person, but she can't go because she's on her leash, and then she'll come back and she'll go to this other person. She's just,
Mhm.
like, all over the place.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to put her in her crate, too. We could not
Oh my
get her
goodness,
in.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember-
after she saw us, after she got off the
Oh,
plane.
she was like, what's
oh my
happening?
gosh, yeah.
I remember she was dragging the airport worker when she
Oh,
was
yeah.
getting to us.
And everyone in the airport, hundreds of people were watching this dog.
Yeah. Because she was so loud.
She was so
Barking.
loud.
She was like crying and barking.
It was like she was like, you must live and you must do all the things. And she did all the things. And she was so obedient. You know, and the blanket, you know, we trained her. You could point to anything and say, that's your blanket. Okay. You know, a mat or a towel or a blanket or something else, piece of grass, blanket. And then if you were away from the house, you were just like blanket, and she would go straight to it and camp out. Such a good dog.
Yeah.
And it was a blanket because we tried to buy her beds. And she would always
She
tear
ripped
them
them to
apart.
shreds.
She did like to rip up nice squishy things. I remember we'd get her the toys that had I think a lot of dogs are like this, but the squeaky inside,
Yeah.
the stuffed animal, and she would just, she wouldn't relent until she ripped that thing out.
And then she was done with that toy.
She was done with the toy, and she would.
She was always.
She'd have the squeaky.
Look at the squeaky. She was like, oh, another squeaky.
Yeah.
Add it to my
I wonder
collection.
where it's at.
I remember that one time when we moved here, Elijah and Malia, they had the squeaky chickens. And what happened is there was this one day I walked into the living room and I just see one of the chickens' heads popped off, and I see Koko laying there with the squeaky in her mouth.
Those things wouldn't last a day.
No.
Yeah.
And everyone loved her. Everyone, all of our guests, they thought she was the most beautiful dog, the most nice dog. We trained her to run, and she did some amazing jumps in the air and caught frisbees. People were like, "Oh, why did you train her to do that?"
The thing was is that, do you know the really hard dog balls?
Mhm.
Like really, really hard. She would like rip those in like pieces too, and really
Mhm.
hard.
Yeah, you'd always think she'd run into the fence every time she caught a frisbee, but she somehow stopped herself. And other people talked about that too whenever they saw her catch a frisbee or two or whatever.
Do you guys remember when we got kittens?
Yes,
Yes.
she wanted to like, check them out.
Yeah.
She went
She almost
for
bit my
one of their
tail.
necks, didn't she?
She wanted to eat them.
Yeah.
We looked them up, and it was like, yeah, GSPs want to eat them.
But not in a mean way.
Mom. She's a dog.
Yeah, we had to train her to not put her mouth on them.
We had to be on her all the time.
Yeah.
Then when she grew older, they were mean to her.
Well, we had the kittens in like the living room upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and she wasn't allowed in the house when we had kittens. Like we didn't let her in there.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little like a baby crate.
The,
Mhm.
the
Coco.
gate.
Yeah, the gate.
Yeah. She hated that. She did not want to be separated from where we were. I remember when the kittens got big enough, this was Hades and Kane. They would lay on her bed. Because at that time we did have like a round kind
Yeah.
of bed. We were in between, she was in between tearing up a fluffy bed. So there was one, the kittens were like laying on it, and she was sitting there off the bed with her paws stretched out and her head, her nose just touching the edge of the bed with the saddest look on her face. She was like, please, it's my bed.
Yeah, but
Get him
then,
off my bed.
yeah, but then there was this one time walking into the living room, and I saw her laying on the bed with like the kittens laying down there with her. She started like sharing the bed with the kittens.
She loved cat beds. The small little beds.
I'm sure she would
curl
try
up
to
into
get-
a ball.
And cat
she
food.
would sit in those. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a
cat
cat.
She was a cat.
Yeah.
Remember the cats used to wait, sit in a place where Koko would walk by so they could smack her.
Yes.
The cats were like, smack.
They did that when we first moved into this house too.
Mhm.
They would sit up like 3 steps, and Coco would like walk by, and Hazel would reach out and like claw her on the
Mhm.
side, and she hated that.
But Kane won't do
Hazel's
that.
a little punk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hazel's
Her and Kane
Kane-
are like,
No, Kane's nice to Coco, and so Kane's too lazy to do that.
Kane and Coco would give each other kisses.
Mhm.
Like, especially like more recently, I feel like they're buddies,
Mhm.
or they were buddies.
Oh, and when well, Coco was in the process of dying, Hazel walked up, to her. Hazel walked up to her and smelled her and just walked away.
Yeah.
Like he didn't care.
Do you guys remember Jeff?
No.
Yes.
Jeff the dog.
Dumb dog.
No,
We
but I've
found
heard
him
funny
You were
stories.
little.
after a rainy. No, we didn't. I was thinking of something else.
No, we went bowling.
We went bowling and he was like thrown over a gate
In our yard.
and a broken foot.
Oh, I think he had. I
Well,
think
he
he
had
had
a lot of
many
things wrong.
broken
Yeah.
legs because his feet were all twisted inside, and when he walked, he kind of waddled because.
Jeff was a dog.
He only-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He was like a little he was like a
It's
corgi,
like-
right?
like a corgi.
Someone's listening to this. It's like, who was thrown over the fence? And his leg was broken.
Well,
And
we
we
got-
just used to watch him walk around in the yard.
Well,
There's
we
Jeff.
we went bowling with the Knight family, and then
How do you remember this?
like we got in the car because I think we all rode together or something, and then they were like, "Is this your dog?"
We didn't even notice
Found Jeff,
Right.
and we were like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "This dog."
It's in your yard.
Yeah.
That was when the we still had a gate
Yeah.
on the yard. So Jeff didn't open up that gate.
No.
And Coco was like smelling Jeff and what's Jeff doing in my yard and all that.
Yeah.
And we
I mean-
we took care of him as best we could.
Yeah, we gave him a bath and.
Waited for someone to come get their dog back.
We
Yeah,
couldn't.
Don't know how he ended up in our
We
yard.
don't know where
It
he
wouldn't
went
matter
either.
if we had a fence anyways, because he could only waddle in circles.
Yeah, you could only walk to the left.
He could only turn left.
Jeff went
There
in
were a few
circles.
Coco would chase
I
him
think he was
left.
blind.
There were a few times. Well, I mean, remember when we were building our tree house at that point,
Oh my
and there was
gosh.
that 3-foot deep
Hole.
hole for one of the beams, and there was a really rainy night, and we
Right.
woke up and we couldn't find Jeff.
Yeah, because the owners came and got him.
Right.
No.
But then we were like, oh, he's gone. Okay, he's gone.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the day or something like that, we found him just
I
wet.
think it was Mom.
Yeah,
She
all
just-
muddy and everything, stuck in the hole.
She thought of it. She said, what if Jeff? Because I mean, like Jeff would get stuck on a fence because he could only go left,
Yeah.
and so you'd end up in a corner. It's like those battery, cars.
We had to like reposition him.
Right. Or the pool boy things, And wasn't it you?
Yep.
I think you were like,
I
did
went
we
and I
check
found
one
him.
of the fence posts or one of the post holes? And so you went and looked.
Yeah, I'm glad I did. I mean,
Jeff
we were
was-
having a pretty big rainy spell, and there was water at the bottom, and I looked in, and not enough to drown him, but he was just shivering and standing in like a puddle of mud. He was all muddy, and I was like,
Just
"Oh,
being Jeff."
yeah.
He
So I
wasn't
gave him
howling.
another
That's so
bath.
Jeff of
No,
him.
He didn't tell anybody
So
anything.
Jeff.
Just like
It's so Jeff.
in the water, he's like, oh, here I am.
Yep. And so we washed him again, and actually that's when I ended up getting Coco's old crate out for him and made a
Hoping
little
he could
bed.
get in
And so
somehow.
then when we would leave, we would shut it so he
Jeff.
couldn't get out.
And you just put Jeff in there.
Yeah.
And then one day, Jeff was gone.
Yeah.
It was like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We had Jeff for 3 weeks.
We
No
don't know
idea
where he
where he
went. We don't know how.
No, Jeff did not climb over the fence
Nope.
or open up the fence, and nobody was walking by going, "Now that's the dog I've been wanting. Let's steal this one."
Right.
And left the GSP there.
Yeah. Your theory is that someone went on vacation.
I think they knew us.
And they knew that we'd take care of the
They
dog,
just
so
threw
they
the dog
threw
over.
their dog over
They came back.
the
They're
fence.
like, "Let's get Jeff."
Get our dog.
Hey, they left. You're good.
Wait.
I think we
By the way,
hide
they
that
named our dog
theory.
Jeff.
The story on
You
this-
know he only responds to Jeff.
They're probably gonna like listen to this and be like, "This story sounds familiar."
This is actually how we got Micah. No, just kidding. I was like, I don't remember where it came from. Yeah. I think there was a big experience is getting Koko here. Did we ever entertain the idea of giving Koko away after many years in Hawaii? Gonna move?
No.
No.
No, it was we're gonna
That
bring
was never
Koko.
a
No.
question.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Why would
more
we?
about how would we?
How would we do?
Because the cats we shipped over,
Mhm.
one to Jordan and one to Aunt Lizzie. And
Mailed the
Like a
cat.
month early.
Yeah, so, and we were like, are we gonna do that with her, or is she gonna take that whole
Yeah.
plane ride and then the long drive that we did?
She would have died of a broken heart if we shipped her away.
Oh my gosh. Well, we actually had someone watch her. They were gonna watch her for a week and a half, something like that, before we left, because we moved out of our house. And so we were in those beach houses before we flew over. And Koko was separated from us, and she tried to break out of the house. They called us the next day, and like, you have to come and get your dog,
Yeah.
because she
She would not be
is
contained.
breaking windows, doors, shades, everything to get out. She's getting out of the house to come and find you.
I think it was mostly their gate. She just
Yeah, she
kept.
broke down the gate.
Yeah. But
Yeah. So she was on the plane, then we had her in the van, and we traveled through a whole bunch of states.
yeah,
And
We took her to Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
the Badlands,
Yep.
Mount Rushmore.
The buffalo.
Up to the Great Lakes area to see the school, and then come down to Georgia.
She was all
She
the way down
traveled
to
with
Florida.
us all the way down to Florida.
No pets, hotels.
That's right. No pets hotels.
Or
Or-
your pet must be
List
less
size,
than
size of your computer.
30 pounds. Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, she's less than 30 pounds.
Yeah, about.
About less than.
We took her out on the farm and she almost
She almost
Oh,
she
died.
ran and ran
Oh,
and
and
ran.
it was so hot that day.
We had to force her to stop running because she was.
She started dying where she
Yeah.
started screaming,
Yeah.
like flopping on the
Cramping.
ground.
Yeah.
She was like, "What's happening to me?" She didn't know she was cramping.
Yeah.
She so at the Schmidt farm they had an entire like gay area, and it was filled with kittens. And I remember she would sometimes like chase, like she just like wanted to look at them, so she'll like run around and try to find them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was a cool farm.
Yeah, the 4-wheeler things, those were fun.
I think that when we got into this house and she ran around the 2.5 acres, that's, fence. She could go through the fence, but we trained her not to leave it. But she ran where she explored every nook and cranny, every tree, all the different little animals. Went and barked at all the people walking by. And I remember, I think for about 3 months, she seemed to be thanking me for bringing her to her real and final home. And she would come up and she would just, lick and pet and jump and it was just all thanks. She wasn't asking for anything. It was like, I love you and thank you for this. She was very happy.
She liked it
Very
here.
happy. She loved it here.
Yeah.
What are some experiences you guys remember of Koko? What was she like here? And maybe what was she like, to you? What was your relationship with Koko?
I remember sometimes I'll walk outside, she'll be sitting in the grass eating it. She'll be eating the grass.
Yeah.
Me and Koko would wrestle around when I was younger. We would wrestle around a lot, and she liked it a lot, and it was funny because when you get her riled up enough, she'll start running in circles, and she'll run straight towards you like she's about to run you over, and then she'll turn in the last part. So yeah, and I was also assigned to play with her like 30 minutes to an hour every day because she had to get the energy out.
I think she always had a plan every morning since we moved here to like go outside or like walk around something, do something, and like play with us some. And yeah, that's what I remember.
She loved chasing my golf balls.
Oh yeah, you
That
trained
was
her to
really
go
fun.
get
Yeah,
golf
that was
balls.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'd just sit there and hit them. She'd go get them for me.
She would
That's funny.
she would chase any ball, anything shaped as a ball or a stick or a frisbee that was projected anywhere.
I think Coco's always been very welcoming. Like everybody who's came to our house knows who Coco is because that's like one of the first things that they're like encountered with is her, and like she'll like go up and like say hi, I guess.
Mhm.
Also,
That was the second thing that they experienced with her.
first was her barking at them and then being scared to death.
Right.
Well, and then like once she knew that they were friends, she was very friendly.
Yeah.
And even like in the mornings, like she will come up, like I know at least with me, she like says good morning to me, like whenever I'm here. And her footsteps are always the first thing I hear in the morning. It's like, oh, there's Koko. And then, which was probably was a really hard thing whenever she passed because the next morning I woke up and something was different.
Yeah.
And later I realized, oh, I didn't hear Coco's footsteps when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, it was very silent.
That's
That
what it was
a
like
big
driving
difference.
up too, because Malia and I weren't here when she died. We were out on the road. I was getting my
Mhm.
stuff from Arizona. And we drove up, and the first thing I was expecting is a dog standing in the middle of the driveway, barking at us and dodging the car because she would play chicken with the car. But she wasn't there, and it was weird. It's definitely weird. Or at least to hear her bark.
Mhm.
Yeah, I missed that. She always let you know. Like, she would sit on the corner of our front porch, like away from the door, but in the corner. And there would be a vehicle, and she would just not bark obsessively, but she'd go like ruff, 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 and that was to let you know that there was somebody approaching. And sure enough, a lot of times it would be the FedEx person or the mail. Like, she knew that that particular vehicle was coming to our house.
Or even Mason.
Mason.
She always
yes.
barked whenever Mason came
Yeah,
over.
she like
And the
recognized vehicles.
past couple
Came in.
times Mason has come over, he's just walked in the door and like there hasn't been a Mason's here, or like the dog's telling us Mason is here.
Mhm. Yeah.
She was very territorial, especially of our property, because
Mhm.
our property's like 2.5 acres, right? And we have like our really long driveway that goes all the way through those 2 acres and a half. And whenever a dog would get close to next to our street, or next to our property, to the part of the street where our property met, she'd start barking at them, even though they're like that far down the road
Mm.
or the driveway.
She was obsessed with smaller dogs. Like in Hawaii, there's like a small fluffy dog, and she would like play around with that dog. And over here, when we moved, there was like a French bulldog, was it? Which were like small dogs, and she loved playing around with that one.
I feel like she was the first impression of our family for anybody who came and worked here or visited here. That was the first thing that people saw, was a real dog, like a real dog. They're like, that's a real dog. Healthy, strong, good dog, barking, and, you know, they're like, I gotta get out of this car at some point. And, you know, and then they saw that she obeyed and that she just wanted to smell them. And then she would go around them, and, you know, we would have to tell her, okay, go away now.
Mm-hmm.
And she made sure she still spent, 10, 15 minutes smelling them. But I mean, she was like the dominant first impression of anybody who came to our house about our family and our way of life. Is there is Koko, and you have to go through Koko, and you have to experience her.
Mm-hmm.
She was just this huge part of our story.
Yeah.
I remember this one time when, like, well, it wasn't this one time. Every time we would, like, clean out the van or we're getting ready for a trip, and she knows that we're getting ready for the trip, and the van door's open, she'll run and, like, jump into the van and lay down on the floor. And she's like, please don't leave me here alone.
Mm-hmm.
The thing she was least obedient about was barking, though. You cannot get her to stop barking.
Right.
She tried. She would bark, and then she would regret it, and
You'd see
then
her.
bark and regret it, and
Whenever-
she knew she was doing wrong.
Yeah.
There, sometimes when she wanted to come inside, she would act like she's barking, and then you look outside and you realize that she's barking at nothing. So, like, you
She
know
had her
that-
let in bark. Let me in. It was ruff, ruff, ruff,
like it was like
ruff, ruff,
It was
ruff.
like-
And she just do 3 barks in a row.
Yeah. She got hit by a car twice. Once when we were here, a little bit by me. She
I
was
didn't know that.
right out, yeah. And bam.
good thing.
Coming
Joy
up the
was-
driveway. And she laid down for a good 24 hours, and then she just popped back up. But I think she almost died in Hawaii. And she got hit by
That
a
definitely
car.
rattled her, yeah.
And she was flopping around on the street, and she was able to get back to our yard, screaming, crying the whole way.
Mhm.
And then she couldn't go anywhere anymore.
Right.
And we had her,
She had a cone on her head.
yeah.
Her bottom torso area was really bloody, I remember that.
Yeah.
Really skinned
And
up.
she, what did
She
she
had a
lay
big
down
gash
for
on
about a
her.
week?
Yeah,
Yeah, she
close
was-
to
And
that.
then one day, boom, up and running,
Mhm.
going. There was never any sign that those permanently slowed her down or anything.
Yeah.
Even as an old dog, she was really active and running around and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah. She had really slowed down the last,
This year.
well, yeah, this year.
One thing that was
Yeah.
really sad that she didn't have any puppies.
Yeah, never had puppies.
That's another story.
Boy, did we try.
We had,
But she was still a really
we
good
had
dog.
a really handsome looking GSP in Hawaii. I don't think he knew what to do,
Well, we also didn't know,
what to let them do.
well, yeah.
I think the dog, I don't think that dog knew what to do with Coco. I think Coco dominated.
yeah,
Coco
that
bossed
is
him
true.
around.
That
was
is
a
a
good
She
problem.
didn't
liked
like
it.
him.
No.
Yeah.
Coco was a quite an athletic dog.
Mhm.
Oh, I remember this one time where there was this like white, it was like a white big dog with like really like bright blue eyes. It was like grayish blue eyes, and that he just like walked into our he just walked into our yard, and Coco and him were like playing around.
Oh, you mean here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came around for
Coco didn't know what to do
for a few days, but yeah.
What's so funny? Is there a story we don't know about?
Well, with the GSP, I wasn't here for the other dog, but with the GSP, she was doing the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that was the same thing with
That's
our
right.
other dog. That was
You
the
talking
same
For
about
the
thing.
GSP in
female?
Hawaii?
Yes.
The wrong
No,
way?
Yeah.
she did it again over
Yeah,
here with that
yeah,
dog.
with the white.
That's funny. That's
Hey, she's just a girl boss.
Guess so.
She's a girl boss. That's funny. Well, she also would jump in the back of my pickup truck when the gate doesn't work. And I would cruise down the highway to take trash to the dump, and she would just go right to the edges. But this year, starting this year, I could tell something was, aging. She couldn't get herself into the truck. She kept on trying to jump, at it and slam against the.
Yeah.
The-
It was
the
kind of
tailgate.
sad to see happen. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, stop it.
But then when I got to the dump, she would jump out. I was like, don't jump out. She would jump out. And so I go back here, and then she couldn't get back in. We're not home, and she didn't want to be picked up. And she would start, screaming, barking, crying, just putting her back in the back of the pickup truck. You could tell she was aging. And maybe we should just tell a little bit about coming up to her death. She, no one here. A few months ago, I started just saying, I don't know if you guys all know this, but I was telling Mom, I think she's just got a couple months. And then it was just a few weeks ago, and I was like, I think it's a few weeks. Mom and I were outside, and Coco had been trotting around the yard, but she came up to us, and she was sharing affection in a different way. And it didn't turn into play, or in the nibbling or anything. She just wanted to lick our hands, our wrists, and she wanted to look at us. And you know how she always developed the playing? She didn't do any of that. And she wanted us to be there for a long time and just pet her and pet her. And it looked like she was, through looking, like saying something. And I literally said to Mom, I said, I think Koko is saying goodbye. I said, Koko, are you saying goodbye? She just looked and I said, are you saying goodbye tonight? Is this it? And I mean, it just seemed like that was it. And then it was the very next day that she was downstairs and who all was here? Rachel was here, Elijah was here, and Delilah, and Micah, and Mom, and me. She stopped breathing. Do you remember us just being there petting her and talking to her? Told her she was a good dog.
Yeah.
She did her job good.
She did.
Good guard dog. She laid down with everybody when they were sick. She knew when someone was sick or sad.
She, especially, like you talked about, when you had your surgery on your knee, she would stay around you, make sure you were okay.
Yeah, if anyone was her person, it was Kevin. It was you.
Yeah, she followed me everywhere.
I think she died exactly how every dog should die, and that's just with the people who loved her around her, petting her and telling her she was a good dog.
I didn't, before having Koko, think much of the companionship or the closeness of dogs. But, I mean, for one, she was special. She was part of us. But she was also, I feel like she was a final bridge and connection between those of us who are in this house now and those who are not in this house anymore. Because she was there when we were all here. She was a constant, but she was a connection. And she's also one of the pieces of the story of Hawaii that came here with us, and that's a broken part of the story now. Micah, you want to tell about the grave that you guys, everybody dug for her?
Yeah. Taking it out was kind of tough, just thinking about who it was for. 'Cause she's been with me my whole life. And like being able to put the grave together, it was kind of something I really thought through, because I was the one who would give her food and water, and I really wanted this one to be special.
Yeah, you were very diligent about putting that together.
Well, she's on our property.
Yeah.
Here's put some stones around it. You and Delilah did. And there's a plant on it?
What kind of plant is that?
It's rose bush.
There's a stone with her paw prints.
Yeah.
Malia kind of had a special connection with Koko.
She he was so diligent in asking when we were going to get her, how long it was going to take. She was there and we got her.
Mhm.
In the beginning of us hunting Koko, she'd get on feeding the dog and everything like that, and me, because at the beginning I think I also helped feed the dog, but she'd make sure it happened. She made sure that dog was taken care of.
Micah took care of the dog, and Malia made sure that Micah took care of the dog.
Sometimes when Micah would, she'll be like, Micah, did you feed Koko? And she's like, and Micah's like, no. Then Molly will be like, go feed Koko right now.
She also bathed her, was the one who bathed her the most.
Sometimes I would help her.
Yep.
That's a challenge.
Mhm.
Did she listen to you for the most part?
She didn't. She just sat.
I tried to bathe her once, it was awful.
Did you wait for an outside shower?
Yeah, the outside shower, but she would not sit still. I'm like, what trick am I missing?
It felt like torturing her whenever you bathed her. She needed water.
But she would get so dirty.
Well, I would like to propose a toast.
A toast.
I a toast.
Here a toast.
To Koko for being such a good dog.
Good dog.
Good dog.
A good dog.
Clink, clink,
Clink.
Thank you, Koko, for being a good dog.
Guys, I'm sorry about that you lost your dog.
Sorry about your dog, Dad.
Sorry about your dog dying. Thanks, guys. Shall we call this episode Koko? Death of Koko? Life of Koko? Koko?
Koko.
Just
It's
Koko?
Koko.
Alright.
K-O-K-O.
Well, Hannah, why don't you close us out?
Did you listen to this podcast? If so, let's interact. Press like or follow, share with friends, leave comments. We are learning this as we go from scratch, so help us figure it out a bit and give it a boost. More to come. We'll catch with you next time. Peace.
Alright, peace out.
Peace out.
You got this, you gotta